Hey y'all, welcome back to Cooking for One. Before we get started, I just want to say thanks for coming by. And if you enjoy these videos, to make sure to click that subscription button. It'll sure help me out a lot. Today we're doing some summer squash fritters. This is a nice light recipe that's pretty easy and fun and really good for the summer. So the first thing we're going to do is roast some garlic for one of our dipping sauces. It's going to be a roasted garlic Kalamata Aioli. So what you're going to do is take one bulb of garlic and make sure to peel that. Get all the loose skin off, and then you're going to pull each clove as well. Now, once that's all peeled, you're going to wrap it up in aluminum foil with a little bit of olive oil and some salt. Get that in an oven at 350 for about 15 minutes. Once that's in there, we can work on our squash. So we're going to do 1 pound of summer squash here. We're going to remove the stems and then take like a box grater or a cheese grater and get that all grated into a big bowl. And this is obviously the base of our summer squash fritter. Once that's all grated down, you're going to take 3 eggs into a bowl and beat these before adding them to the squash. You want it to be beaten to the point where there's no little floaty albumin in there. It should all just be yellow. To this we're going to add salt and pepper. I'm adding a liberal amount here with 2 teaspoons of turmeric, and then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. For this recipe I use 1 cup of flour that I'm going to add in thirds. So the first one I'll add before I add the eggs, and then I'll fold that in with a rubber spatula. Then I'll add the second third just to check the consistency. You don't want to add it all at once and then end up being too dry. So if you add it in thirds, you can really get it more consistent. Once that's all even and folded in nice, we're going to add some feta cheese, and work that in as well, and then we're going to pop this whole mix right into the refrigerator. So next we can work on our tzatziki sauce. So for this, you could strain your own, but I found this pre-strained yogurt at Market Basket. It's pretty cool. We're going to take 1 can of that with the juice of 1/2 lemon. This is a rather large lemon. If you have a smaller one, just use the whole thing. And then we're going to take 1/2 cucumber. We're going to grate this right into the bowl as well. Now to this I'm going to add 3 sprigs of mint. Now you could chiffonade this if you want. That's what I do. You kind of just stack the leaves and roll it up before slicing it, but a rough chop would be fine on this as well, as long as it's small enough to work into the dipping sauce. We're going to whisk this all together. You want it to be really well blended. I got a little bit stuck in my whisk there. A thinner, like a wire whip, would be preferred for this, but if you don't have that, you could just use like a spoon or a fork, really. Now once our garlic's out of the oven, we're going to get that into a small bowl and we're going to mash that up with the ends of a fork. This is going to be for our aioli. Now I'm going to cheat with this. Normally you'd make your aioli like you're making a fresh mayonnaise, but I'm just going to use regular mayonnaise. It's just way easier. So what we're going to take is 10 Kalamata olives pitted, and we're going to mince them really, really fine just to work them in. You don't want to have to chew your dipping sauce. Once that's in there, we're going to add 3 like heaping tablespoons of this. And then 1 teaspoon of paprika. It adds color and a little bit of flavor. That's pretty nice. We're just going to mix this around with the fork that we used to mash the garlic and set that in the cooler. Once that's in there, we can start frying our fritters. So I'm going to take about a tablespoon of olive oil in my pan at medium heat, and we'll be ready to go. So I take 2 spoons, one to scoop and the other to kind of drop it in there. Now my pan can fit about 5 at a time, and we're going to go 2 minutes on each side. Once you're doing this, you're going to want to get a drain board and help them stay a little bit crispy on the edges. And you're looking for golden brown here, kind of like what we're looking for every time we fry. Now if you don't have summer squash, you can substitute this with zucchini and the same recipe will work just as good. once they're all out, you're ready to plate. So for this, we're just going to get 2 ramekins, one for each of our dipping sauces, and we're just going to plop those right on the plate. And this is a nice light recipe that could be enjoyed as a snack on a summer's day, or maybe to accompany a light lunch. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.